Hello and welcome back to what we like to call 3 in 3 here at the heartlandjournal.com, where I run down the three most important stories of the week. The mainstream media, let's be kind, forgot to tell you. They ran out of time, probably. Let's go. Number one, Texas GOP to consider censure of 10 lawmakers. In severe cases, censures could lead to removal from the Republican ballot. The Republican Party of Texas will soon decide whether to punish a group of Republican lawmakers under a newly toughened party rule that could even keep them off the ballot. At their October 11 meeting, members of the state Republican Executive Committee will take up censure resolutions advanced from counties parties against 10 House Republicans, including Speaker Dustin Burrows, along with state reps Dade Phelan, Morgan Meyer, Angie Chen Button, Angelia Orr, Cody Harris, Jared Patterson, Stan Lambert, Jeff Leach, and Gary Van Dever. Under Rule 44, local party committees may censor a Republican officer who has taken three or more actions in opposition to the party's principles or legislative priorities. If such a resolution is sent to the SREC, the state committee may, by a three-fifths vote, impose penalties. Those penalties can include withholding party resources, publicly discouraging the office holders from running, or, in the most severe cases, refusing to allow them on the Republican primary ballot for 2 years. Notably, Phelan and Lambert have already announced they will not be seeking re-election. Number two story this week, woman charged with defrauding Minnesota autism program out of $14 million. The U.S. Attorney's Office said the charges are just the first stemming from a large scheme to bill the state for autism treatment services that were never provided. Asha Farha Hassan, only 28 years old, charged from feeding our future to housing stabilization services and now autism services. It's over $2 billion under Governor Tim Walz and AG Keith Ellison, adds up to real money. And lastly, it's not that the indictments of former FBI Director James Comey isn't a bombshell, but it feels like it's being perceived differently than what it actually is. Comey's indictment isn't over Russiagate or efforts to investigate and prosecute Trump. It's about denying to Congress that he authorized Andrew McCabe to leak information that made McCabe look better and arguably made Comey look worse as a manager of the Bureau. Whether or not you find Comey's denials convincing, providing that he's lying in a court of law is going to be a tall order, suggesting that the former FBI director will face decent odds before a Northern Virginia jury. This is obviously number three. Poor 6'7" James Comey. The Comey indictment. To understand why a federal grand jury indicted Comey on Thursday, we must go all the way back to the closing days of the 2016 presidential campaign. On October 30th, 2016, Wall Street Journal reporter Devin Barrett wrote an article with the headline FBI in Internal Feud over Hillary Clinton Probe. The most consequential revelation in that story was that the FBI had begun an investigation into the Clinton Foundation run by Bill and Hillary Clinton. New details show that senior law enforcement officials repeatedly voiced skepticism of the strength of the evidence in a Bureau investigation of the Clinton Foundation, sought to condense what was at times a sprawling cross-country effort, and according to some people familiar with the matter, told agents to limit their pursuit of the case. The probe of the foundation began more than a year ago to determine whether financial crimes or influence peddling occurred related to the charity. Some investigators grew frustrated, viewing FBI leadership as uninterested in probing the charity, these people said. Others involved disagreed sharply, defending FBI bosses and saying Deputy Director Andrew McCabe, in particular, was caught between an increasingly acrimonious fight to control between the Justice Department and FBI agents pursuing the Clinton Foundation case. Up until then, Comey had refused to confirm or deny whether the Bureau was investigating the Clinton Foundation, even in testimony to Congress. The U.S. Department of Justice Office of Inspector General conducted a thorough investigation about the leak and found FBI text messages by McCabe, then special counsel, that reflected that she and the then Assistant Director for Public Affairs, ADOPA, had been in contact with Barrett, the reporter, on October 27th and 28th, 2016. The Office of Inspector General interviewed McCabe several times and concluded in its report that McCabe lacked candor when he stated that he told Comey on October 31st, 2016, that he had authorized the disclosure to the Wall Street Journal. That OIG report was damning of McCabe and relatively exonerating of Comey. Comey told the OIG that prior to the article's publication, he did not have any discussions with McCabe regarding disclosure of the August 12th PADAG call. In the coming days, there will be a lot of talk about Comey as a martyr and progressives proclaiming he's a hero, and a lot of furious denunciations of him from the MAGA crowd. I think there are several negative consequences when a former FBI director leaves his position and becomes a hero of the resistance and laughs it up with Stephen Colbert, looking and acting like just another Democratic talking head. The FBI and other government agencies want the public to perceive them as nonpartisan straight shooters, metaphorically as well as literally, who act in the national interest, not in any political interest. That perception is corrosively undermined by retired government agency leaders who become partisan cheerleaders. But Comey wasn't indicted for being a partisan hack. What will be at issue in that federal courtroom in the months to come is the question of whether federal prosecutors can prove that James Comey authorized McCabe to leak that information to the Wall Street Journal. At this point, this appears to be McCabe's word against Comey's. All right, more like 3 pages of 3 stories in 90 seconds because it's tough, but I hope you liked it. If you did, please subscribe and pass around. We only grow with your help to keep this content free for you. See you next time, and glory to God.